One of my first off-road experiences was somewhere in the early 70s as a little kid. Just being around it my entire life, I've always enjoyed it. I like to participate in it, whether driver, spectator, worker, I don't really care. When I was younger, I couldn't really afford to off-road race myself, so I had a little sports car and did autocross and stuff like that. And that kind of took care of some of my desires for speed. But yeah, as soon as we had an opportunity to go do some desert racing, my brother and I jumped on it. So I don't know when it was, like 1986 or something like that. We borrowed one of my dad's old Dodge trucks from the Pike family, and we raced for a couple of years in Vora and did really well, and haven't looked back. So I was always the son of the legendary Rod Hall, which is great because it opens a lot of doors, but at the same time, they always see your father as the guy who's the racer. And so it's taken me a long time to kind of get beyond that, and I've done it kind of a different way. I've tried to use my ability as a person that can race a production vehicle without braking, finishing races, and have tried to get associated with the manufacturers. And so, when he started racing for Dodge, back then the trucks were really, even the Broncos, they were pretty stock. They were modified stock trucks. When my dad had his first opportunity to drive more of a trophy truck, which would have been like 91, something like that, and a coil spring, 4-bar link truck, he sort of struggled with that, But then when he got back out of that, back into the Hummers, where it was more production-based, he excelled again. But all the Hummer programs were all marketing. It was about racing and marketing and that end. Whereas the Chevrolet program, it's about development. Everything in off-road racing is important. Some things you can live with that aren't quite as good as others. But tires, as we all know, that's the part of the truck that hits the road, right? If you don't have to worry about your tires as far as both traction, durability, or ride quality, it gives you time to worry about other things. So you don't have to really worry about the washboards and embedded rock. That's the kind of stuff that BFGoodrich learns from spending the time in the desert. We swapped over to the 35-inch KM3 in 2018. So I don't know how many races that's been, 20 races, 21 races on the 35-inch KM3 without a flat. We also run the 35-inch KM3 on the Silverado as well, which we haven't had a flat. Going out to the Mint 400 every year, it's a big deal for our team because we get to bring all of our sponsors. We bring in Chevrolet engineers, we bring in executives, we bring in Mobil One, we bring in all these people that are potential sponsors or sponsors of off-road to an event that they get to see, oh, look at this. There are a lot of people involved in the sport that they didn't know about. And whenever these people show up at the races, they don't really care about what's racing. They look in the pit. What are the people towing their race cars to the races with? What are the fans driving? What have they done to their vehicles? Because that's a big deal. Having the OEs to be in an environment like that where they can display their stuff, get their stuff on television, it means a lot. In 2017, would I consider the Silverado an off-road vehicle? Yeah, probably not. I didn't know anything about the Colorado at the time, but when I look at where Chevrolet has gone with its platform since we've started, you can see it matters. Even if you aren't an off-roader, what Chevrolet is gathering out of this program makes everybody's truck better. So it makes me feel pretty good that we've had the success that we've had. Well, going on year 5, it's finished 24 races, not one DNF. I mean, that's pretty incredible. And that goes back to the effort that Chevrolet is putting in on the products that we're running. It goes back to the platform, and it goes back to everybody in the car, whether it's me driving, Sean driving, Austin or Chris or whoever is driving the vehicle. And everybody knows that getting the vehicle to the finish line is our priority. I appreciate everybody that comes in and works on the cars. I appreciate the amount of time they put into things. I appreciate the amount of professionalism our volunteers have. And you know, it takes 14, 16, 20 people to get our trucks to the races and back home. And it's a labor of love for everybody on the team. And you know, whether we're going 35 miles an hour in a stock truck or 100 miles an hour in a spec truck, it's all just as pleasurable. You know, it's enjoyable. And my dad gave me some good advice. He said, race while you can, because someday you can't. And so we're racing every day like it's our last day.